on it, oil it. Is there any way to clean it? Because I'm sure you get carbon buildup.
Hi, this is Randy Schoeneman with Bulldog Rooter. Today's date is July 28, 2017. Excuse me. I'm out here with Zach Rose and Levi Carthman. We've jetted out a main line at this address out to the street. We're looking at the sewer line that right here. This runs east and west down 2nd. You can see the water flow there. Looks like we're dumping into a tile sewer line, and we're going to start pulling back. This line was put in around the turn of the century, and we'll pull back and see what we've got. We've got about a 100-foot line from where we're working at under a. We pulled a toilet in the lower level of the apartment building. We're leaving the toilet off at the super's request. We're just going to cap off the floor flange and leave the water turned off here. And we are beginning to pull back. Again, we had 99 feet. This is where the transition is into the sewer. You can see it at this angle. And of course, the water is at the bottom of the line. If we get into an area with no water, the bottom of the pipe is always going to be where my light is at with the camera, because that'll sit at the bottom of the pipe. And you can see as we pull through these bends how that aspect will change a little bit. Right here, we're in an area, it's hard to tell if this is rust debris or possibly a little grease. We saw some issues with this line. It looks like it's all iron out to the street. And we wanted to give it a little higher pressure, but we saw some things that caused us a little bit of concern, so we didn't want to get too wild with it and strip it down to the bare metal. We were concerned in a couple of areas that we might have some dirt exposure. Right here we're pulling back. It's kind of tough to tell. It looks like this is all graded really well because it's flowing by. We don't see any pooling water, so it looks like we've got good grade in this area. We're at the 90-foot mark right here, so we've gone about 10 feet in the sewer line. Continuing to pull back. Here we have a little more water buildup. Bottom of the pipe obviously on the right here with the running water. With the usage, and this is really tough to regulate in an apartment building where you've got multiple tenants. It's really tough to have this with no water in it, so we can get a better idea of what the bottom of the pipe looks like. Continuing to pull back. We just passed the 80-foot mark, and we're continuing to work back to the toilet that was installed at the clean out in the basement. In this area here, we saw some things that kind of bothered us initially, but it looks like we've jetted those out. You can see in the right-hand side of the screen there's a little area there. It's hard to tell if that's just debris. Again, we've jetted this twice. We went out at about 1200 psi with a tip that we call a root rat that actually spins and jets all the edges of the pipe or all the walls of the pipe. I think this was the area here that we had the concern about. You can see some ridges above the water level. It's hard to tell if that is debris. Again, with a multifamily housing unit, I didn't want to get too wild with the water pressure. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen, gosh, right about where this big lump of water is. But you can kind of see as we pull back, there looks to be a little lip there. It's just about dead center in the screen, slightly right, where we may possibly have some breaches here. It's pretty hard to say. Again, I wanted to amp this up to higher pressure, but I was kind of concerned about tearing pipe out of the ground and really creating a problem for you guys. We just passed the 70-foot mark. I did also locate where this ties into 2nd Avenue. You're about 10 feet down. in the street. Coming up on 60 feet here fairly rapidly. This is an area here that's a little bit of concern. We basically have to drain uphill in order to continue on the downhill grade to the sewer. This is an area where debris is definitely going to accumulate. Could possibly give you some backups of sludge and whatnot. Right here you can see that the water gets much deeper. My camera lens is about 1.5 inches in diameter. This is 60 feet. And so we've got roughly about a 4-foot, 5-foot belly, or an area of positive grade. This is something that we saw. We don't know where the heck it comes from, but we have a garden hose. This is at 56 feet. It goes out to about 60 feet. We don't know where it's tied into the line at. This area here, again, with the water flow through this, I know the bottom of the pipe feels kind of rough. This is an area where we wanted to crank it up a bit. We see some debris chunks there. That orange stuff, that is pipe pieces. Yeah, here's a little bit better idea. It looks like it comes down from up above. This is about 55 feet, 10 inches. And then we're in the belly underwater. Still underwater here. And some of the debris that you see at the bottom here is a little troublesome. It's hard to tell if that is rock or dirt or just pipe that could be rusted through. This is about 47 feet, 10 inches from the floor flange that we're working at in the basement. With this jetted, we can see through the water a whole lot better. There's just some debris here that is a little bit disturbing at the bottom of the pipe. And again, this is an area that is, it looks like we're above that belly now. Here we drop into another one, and right here it's hard to say if that is actually a pipe seam. This is at 46 feet out from where we're working in the basement. Continuing to pull back. Looks like somebody's doing some laundry in the building because the water is very, very milky. Here we are at 40 feet, continuing to pull back. Still a bit more underwater than what we'd normally like to be. It looks like somebody could be doing some laundry here. There we go. Now we're above the water level. So this right here is about 36 feet, 37 feet. So that whole area, we've got a little bit of a grade issue that exists kind of off and on. Here we are underwater again. Again, tough to say what the condition of the pipe is in this area with all the water moving through it. We just passed the 30-foot mark and we're coming back. I'm guessing we're probably under the building at this point. Probably a good idea to have a chat with your tenants about no feminine paper products or flushable wipes. I believe that is what we just saw there in the pipe. And of course, with a pipe this old, it's very prone to catching. We just passed the 20-foot mark and we're coming back. Here's where some of the other building drains tie together into the main drain leaving the house or building, the apartment complex, excuse me. There's some more right there, coming up on 10 feet. Oop. And right here, we're actually in the room that we're working from. This used to be the clean out into the main stack right here. Somebody plumbed into it to add a toilet and some additional plumbing for a utility sink. And I believe the lab in the bathroom is connected here as well. Pulling up and out. And here we have the floor flange that we're working through. Let me wipe this off real quick. This is where we're working at in the basement. Over here we can see the back of the utility sink and where the additional plumbing was added, and it ties into the old iron stack right here. Again, this is Randy Schuneman with Zach Rose and Levi Kathman from Bulldog Rooter. It's still July 28, 2017, and that'll conclude this video inspection. Thanks for choosing Bulldog Rooter.